Welcome to the Business Insider Podcast, where we interview the top business leaders in their respective industries. Today, I'm excited to introduce a special VIP guest, Ginny. She is the founder and CEO of a business called VDS Digital Agency. And basically, they specialize in full service marketing agency that focus on growth solutions. Ginny, I'm so glad you make it to the show.
Thank you. Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm thrilled to have you here too, because I've got a lot of questions for you, and I think our viewers are going to be super excited about this one. So before we had started the podcast, you'd given me like a 90-second overview of, what your business is and, what solutions your clients get. So I would love if you could kind of reiterate that, to our audience.
Sure. So VDS is specialized in UX driven marketing. We are a full service marketing agency, meaning we do absolutely everything from digital to print, um, websites also. And we really focus. So we are very picky with our clients, and I think we're going to develop that later on. But we really focus on quality and strategy. So when we onboard a client, we work with them for a long time.
That's an important thing, right? I mean, it really is more about quality than quantity. If you do a great job and you're working with someone you like, that's the most important thing in a business. So definitely with you there. So if you had to define, your superpower or the unique skill or insight that sets you apart in your space, what would it be and how has it shaped your success?
Sure. So I think our superpower is to focus on design. So my background is in design. I have been a designer for years before doing this business. And that's why I really integrate user experience, UX, into marketing. And I call that UX marketing. And I think that's our real difference because doing marketing is great. But if you don't have the design that follow with it, it doesn't work. And what we focus also is I talked about it earlier, is a pathway for user experience. And I think that's our really big difference because we don't do, oh, we're going to do an advertising or we're going to do a campaign. We want really to work on from brand awareness. So when someone doesn't know you, how does it discover your company? And little by little, how is becoming a lead and how is becoming your client or buy your product. So I think that's really our difference is really doing everything along this user experience and not only like advertising or something like this. Because when you think when you think marketing, you think, oh, they do ads. But no, it's not what we do.
Yeah, I feel like UX is just such an important part, of marketing, right? Like we discussed this a little bit before we started the podcast, but your branding and your image and just how clean everything looks is a super important part of your business. And if you don't have that, it just looks very unprofessional.
Exactly. So our work is really to, when we onboard clients, we talk like almost immediately about what is your branding, and then we apply this branding everywhere. We want to make sure everything is consistent, everything looks great. We work either you have a team of developer and we work with them to improve your website, or we do website. We really want when someone like touch your business, touch your brand, that they feel what you offer and they really like they say to themselves, "Oh, this is amazing. I want to try," or "The design is great. We do like infographic." And I have a really, really good graphic designer, even if I'm graphic designer myself, and we have a very like good relationship. So my team is excellent to do really quality design, I will say.
That's awesome. So, what would you say is one of the biggest challenges you've had to face in your life to this point? How did you overcome it? And what is one lasting lesson you were able to take away from that experience?
Yeah, so I had a lot of challenges in my life. I'm not going to talk about all of them, but really creating this company from scratch. So this company is 3 years old. I created it in 2021. Um, and it was really it is my first company in America. I had company before in France, but really building this business from scratch. And at first I was just sort of a freelancer doing a little bit of design. And then I had to build a team and I had to hire people. And I think that was really the challenge for me is like delegate, trusting other people to do the work with me, and really work as a team on a project. It's very different than just working as a freelancer. And I think
Absolutely.
my client feel it too, because when you hire VDS, you don't hire one person. You hire a whole set of skills with a different person, and that's changed a lot of things.
Absolutely. I feel like I can say for myself in my entrepreneurial journey, that was definitely my trickiest thing was, yeah, like leaving that responsibility and delegating that to other people where like you can't like you have control over everything to a certain extent that you have to trust other people to get the job done. It's definitely like kind of a scary feeling at the beginning, you know? So definitely
Yeah, so
understand that.
that's my challenge. That was my challenge. I think now we arrive at a stable phase, and my next challenge is to grow this team to have more people and to grow my client base. So that's sort of the next year challenge. Keep the same path, but keep growing.
Is the best way to go ahead for sure. So in a rapidly changing world, where do you see your industry going over the next 5 to 10 years, and how are you working to stay ahead of the curve?
Yeah, that's a really great question. Actually, I sort of switched to marketing because I had a lot of people when was doing design asking a lot of questions about where do we go in this industry. Right now, we are talking all over the place about AI. That's the big topic. But behind the scene, AI is not just, ChatGPT. It's a lot of other things, and it's now included in a lot of user experience in a lot of product. You have these chatbots. Do you talk to an AI? Do you talk to a person? So I think the real challenge for marketing in the 5 to 10 years is how we use this new AI technology in a way that people still feel that they are listened by real people. So, for example, right now we use ChatGPT a little bit because, of course, it's really fast and it's easy, but I have a content writer who comes, above it. And I think mixing these new technologies with real people and trying to find the symbiotic between these two, I don't know if it's the right word, uh, is really the challenge for marketing in this at least 5 next years. 10, it's hard to say because it's changing so fast. But yeah, AI-driven technologies, AI-driven strategies, and analytics and data, because AI doesn't work if you don't input anything. So it's really also what is important. AI is not like smart by itself. AI needs input. So
Right.
what are the data we get and how do we use this data in also a good way? For example, I have a client. We are really focused on not selling data because data has a lot of value, and it's really easy for a company to say, oh, I have all this email, I'm going to sell them. There is a line, and where is the line? And I think marketing is all over, like, really the talk in marketing will be about that personalization, data, and AI. I don't know if
Yeah,
you
for
agree, but
sure. For sure. And AI I mean, it's definitely, the hot topic right now. And it's like, my question is like, how far will it go? Right? I mean, it's definitely perplexing where, thousands, millions of people are beginning to lose their jobs because they're not needed anymore. And I can say even on my end, right, in my businesses, like I would much rather spend $10 a month on this AI rather than, 80,000 a month, 80,000 a year, or, whatever on a person to do it manually, because the person, doing it manually takes longer. It's more expensive when the AI typically can just do it, within 2 seconds, and I don't really have to pay it anything. So it's definitely a tough situation.
so yeah, and that's exactly what people think about marketing. What is important, and that's why also hiring a marketing agency, it's important because we know what works, what doesn't. You have so many product online that say, hey, you don't pay your marketing, free marketing, you just pay our software, and then everything is done automatically. From experience, automatically be very careful. It's like I was testing some tools, so I try to be ahead of the curve. So I was testing some new tools to get videos. I got the guys with free arms. I was like, okay, well, it happens. But so, it's like it's important to make sure to have someone following all this. And I never post online directly from AI ever. I need people. I need a team. My graphic designer works for now without AI images. We are trying to see how we can integrate that, but I will never generate an AI images and post it online. I think it's very tricky, and people will think they will get like a lot of clients doing this. It needs to be really careful
Yeah,
because
there still needs to be, there still has to be, people in charge of certain things, right? Like AI can't do everything.
it's just a
So I
tool.
definitely, having a large team that's, in charge of a lot of different things and like manually overseeing. It's more, I feel like it's more about those like mindless tasks, where it's like updating something. Like if you have to use your brain, I'd rather have a person on that. So I definitely agree
Exactly.
with you for sure.
It's good for brainstorming, for example. Like I use it a lot when I create a strategy because you brainstorm with the tool and you check what it's telling you. But I always advise to use AI on a topic you are knowledgeable. Because if you just like ask something random about something you don't know and you get the answer, you like it's like asking Google, you know?
Yeah, for sure. You got to fact check that.
It's like
Absolutely.
you have to fact check it. It's very important, and people don't realize that, and they just like copy paste, and then you're like, okay, well,
It's
but
funny.
but it's like when Google appeared, when Google appeared, like all of a sudden you had like access to so many things, but then people realize through time, okay, we have the tool, but we still need to fact check and everything, and
Yeah.
it's like each new tool. I compare that most of the time to CAD. I used to be an interior designer. I design a lot with CAD, and when CAD appeared and architects didn't have to draw by line, like by hand, a lot of people lose their job. But the thing is, CAD doesn't draw by itself. Like you
Right.
have to have a full architecture background to be able to use the product. And someone will tell you you can just do a house like this. I want to see the house. It's not going to be optimized. It's like, so
Yeah.
that I think AI is the same. It's a tool. It's an amazing tool. And we win a lot of time, which also, which is also great for us because we can be a little cheaper, especially because my team is in America. So I have to pay them
Yeah.
the right way. But so we can do a little cheaper and we can sort of be competitive with some people abroad. So that's a great thing. Um, but but yeah, only AI, I will say no, don't do that.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I
I,
fully agree
I
with
was
you.
not alone on that, but I have a very like,
No, it makes sense. So what advice would you give someone, aspiring to follow in your footsteps, whether as an entrepreneur or, starting specifically a marketing agency? What would you say?
so I will say I think starting a marketing agency is hard because when I started, I wasn't a full service marketing agency. I started doing one thing. I started to do design. And then little by little, I grow the team and I expanded our services to now full service marketing agency. Because if you want to start a full service marketing agency, you need at least a content writer, a graphic designer, a social media manager, and someone to overhead all that. And you certainly need a developer. So it's like a lot of different skills, and if you have all these skills, like I do, this is nice, but you cannot do anything. You cannot do everything. You're going to get overloaded. So I think creating a marketing agency, you have to be at least 2 or 3 people together to do this. Really, we are a marketing agency. If not, you can select the thing you prefer in marketing. For example, you love to write. You can be a content writer and really focus on writing and how I use AI and how I, write things. Or you can be a designer and really focus on design for marketing, which is not the same. Because when you design, how do I design for generating interaction? How do I make sure my design generate clicks, that people understand the design? Readability. Each time I'm like, make the button bigger.
Yeah.
It, it's like, it's stupid, but it's like, we are doing marketing. I want a big button. It's just, big red button. It's stupid, but it works. It's like, so I think it's important when you want to start to select sort of a focus, start with this focus, grow your skills, be very knowledgeable, and then little by little partner with other people to be able to, do marketing as a whole.
Absolutely. Yeah, you got to have a team and you have to, network as much as you can, meet more people, and get partners in your business. That's the best way to keep leveling up. So makes
That's the
sense.
best way. Hiring, new people, mentor, discussing with other business owners. And honestly, marketing is really most of the time is A/B testing. We even if AI tells you this is your perfect client, it, yes, but where do you find them? It's like there is always a discussion. What I do with my clients most of the time is we have a meeting and we just discuss. And I was like, can you tell me what you think about, this type of clients? Do you like working with them? Can you tell me where they find you? Uh, all these kind of things. And then we try really a discussion to figure out where would you can find your people, the people you really want to work with.
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, so
Um,
it's really a lot. Marketing is a lot. That's why when I say I do marketing and nothing else, because it's enough.
there's a lot of moving parts to it.
Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly.
Yeah, exactly. Well, now, Ginny, now we've talked shop for a while, it's time to shake things up a little bit with my lightning round. So, as my audience knows what this is, but I never tell the people that come on the podcast
Okay.
what this is. But yeah, it's basically I'm just gonna ask you a series of 10 quick questions, and you just give the first answer that pops into your mind.
Okay.
Don't worry, nothing too scary. Very simple
Yeah, that
question.
sounds scary, but it's okay.
Okay, you ready?
Yeah,
Coffee or tea?
coffee,
Cats or dogs?
dogs.
If you could grab only one weapon during a zombie apocalypse, what would it be?
I will grab my rap here. It's it's a sword. I'm a sword fighter.
Sword. Okay, okay. So
It's a
that's
sword.
exactly. I say the same thing. Some people come on the podcast and they'll say gun, and I'm like, "What do you do when you run out of ammo?"
No. I'm a sword fighter, so I actually know how to use
Oh,
it.
you're
It's
actually
also a
like,
rapier. Yeah, I'm
oh
a
wow,
rapier fighter.
that's super cool. Damn, cool. How about a favorite quote or phrase do you think about often?
Failure is not an option.
What is it?
Failure is not an option.
Oh, yep.
It's from the NASA. Yeah, I have
That
that on a ball.
yeah, that's I feel like that it's such a common one, but it's the most important one, right? Like everybody has to remember that's yeah, you can't fail.
Yeah, that's failure is not an option. It's something that my dad gave me when I was young. It was like on a baseball
That's
thing
awesome.
from the
Oh, that's awesome.
NASA, and I just had that on my desk all the time and reminding myself that when I failed, it's okay.
Yeah. Failure is a huge part of being an entrepreneur. Like you have to if you don't fail, I mean, that's you're not going to make it. So,
I don't know any entrepreneur who never fail.
yeah,
Any people in a company which is completely switch because the first idea didn't work. I Yeah, failure is part of the job.
exactly. How about a favorite movie?
Um, that's a hard one. Well, I'm really fan of Star Wars, so it's a really
Ooh,
yeah, I used to do cosplay, so that's especially the Mandalorian.
that's awesome. Yeah,
But
Star Wars.
I'm
I'm
more
a
a
big Star
series
Wars fan.
person. Yeah, more a shows person.
Yeah, that's cool. How about a favorite TV show or streaming series?
Yeah, exactly. So I actually really loved Sense8 when he went out. It was a series on Netflix a long time ago. Um, Another one that is maybe more common, Supernatural. I love
Oh,
it.
I've heard of that one. I haven't seen either of them though.
Supernatural, I actually watched it not that long ago, hearing from it for so long, and I was just like, it's just time. But there are 15 seasons. So I had to find the time. I was like, I'm gonna watch. And then I started to watch and I watched that for months without stopping. It was amazing. So
Yep,
Supernatural,
I
I'm
tell you
really
what. Whenever I get into a good show, the business takes a little bit of a hit every time.
yeah, well that's the problem. It's like that's why the shows, but I'm a shows person. I love more shows than like that movies.
I
Uh,
agree.
But yeah,
Totally.
it's easier. It's like you watch a little episode and then you just do
Yeah,
something else.
yeah. Movies, you got to sit down for the 2.5 hours. Like, yeah, I definitely am not really a movie guy.
It's too long. But yeah, it's everything sort of, witches and stuff like this. I like it.
Awesome. How about your favorite book?
It's hard. Facebook. I didn't read any book lately. Um, I'm not gonna pass that one. I don't know.
Fair enough. Fair enough. One bucket list item you've already accomplished.
Oh, I accomplished a lot of things. I came to the
Oh,
United States.
nice. Nice. One bucket list item you haven't accomplished yet.
Mm, that's a good one. Well, I want to grow my company, have a goal in mind, for that because, and I just, I want to have $1 million company. It's something that, and I want to have a green card too.
Yeah.
Two big goals, right?
Two goals. Yeah, there we go. Those are solid. No, those are solid. Um, what about your biggest obstacle you've ever had to overcome and one lesson you learned from it?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest obstacle is when I arrived in the United States, I didn't realize how hard it will be. Um, and I had to, and it was during COVID. So it was really, really hard. It's
Oh,
been six
damn.
years
Yeah.
now. Yeah, it's been 6 years, but I was there during COVID by myself. And I think being far off my family was, and is still really hard, especially at this period of time. It's the holidays. So I think that's a challenge.
Yeah, for sure. No, that I can definitely understand that. It's definitely like I haven't had to go through anything like that yet, but that definitely, that would be definitely very scary. That's that terrible timing too, right? Like COVID. So,
It was terrible being by myself. Like I have friends, but friends is not family. It's not the same. And yeah, I couldn't, I stay here because if I had trouble back, I couldn't come back to the United States. So I'm very happy I stay here. I'm very happy I was resilient, but it was a hard time. And during the holidays, it's still a hard time. I sort of want to see my family sometimes, but I really like it here. So, it's hard. It's like you're happy, but you want to see them. It's like you cannot have both.
that's that sucks, but I'm sure, you're gonna figure it out and you'll be able to see you'll be able to do both. So that's
Yeah,
awesome.
for sure.
Yeah, and Ginny, if any of our viewers, would like to connect, collaborate, or even work with you, what would be the best way for them to get in touch?
That's a good question. I think one of the best ways to send me an email. I'm not really a phone person, so it's better to send an email and then set up a meeting. I also have on my website, if you go in the contact section, just a meeting link, and people can schedule right away. And LinkedIn. I'm always on LinkedIn. So if you send me a message on LinkedIn, I will be there.
Perfect. And as you guys know, I'll link all of her information below.
Thank you.
So definitely check her out. As you can see, she's definitely an expert in the marketing space and, UX design. And, she has a lot of great ideas and definitely can do a lot for you guys. So definitely check her out. But yeah, Ginny, thank you for your time and insights today. It was a pleasure interviewing you.
Thank you. Yeah, it was my first time doing a podcast, so I hope I didn't talk too much.
No, you didn't. It was amazing.
Okay, well, thank you. No, I really appreciate and